I found this spiked metal collar hanging in one of the upstairs rooms in the house I just bought in Spain. Found this in one of the rooms in the unfinished part of the house, strapped to the ceiling. It's quite heavy, completely metal spiked collar with a leather sort of strap that's very old and rusty. Considered this could have been used around the neck of a bull, but the diameter is not big enough to fit. The diameter is roughly the size of a human neck. What is it? It's a traditional anti-wolf spiked collar for sheepdogs. Wolves go for the throat or neck when they attack. Putting this collar on them helps prevent that because the spikes stick outwards. If a wolf tries biting a dog wearing it, they aren't going to have a good time. What are these things? These ball things are on the side of a building and occasionally bounce up and down. This building is in a small harbor area in Harburg Inland Port in Hamburg, Germany, with occasional small ships passing if that might be relevant. None of my colleagues know what these things are either. The building they are on is a maritime logistics office and is located in a small and frequently used harbor area. Maybe someone has an idea what these could be. It's an artwork on the building called the ocean apparatus. They magically move rhythmically up and down on imaginary waves. They help with navigation or with the collection of measurement data. The movements of the ocean apparatus are calculated on the basis of real-time wave measurement data from buoys located on the open sea. Depending on the weather, the buoys appear to be floating slowly, drifting, or swaying vigorously, spurred on by the raging sea. What is this adjustable round disc thing? Our doctor at work was given this at a recent course at UPenn Vet School. It seems to dial up or down the size of the hole that goes through it by turning the inner disc to the raised dots shown. I thought it might slide into a pen or pencil, but I can't see the point. It's a stethoscope ID tag. It goes on a stethoscope to write your name on. Also great for decorating. Display your company logo. What is this antique vase with holes in the top and bottom? I thought this might be a bartender's shaker or strainer. The only thing I can think of is an incense holder, but that seems dangerous and messy. It's fairly small, made of ceramic. It's a vintage sugar shaker called muffineer. It was created in the Victorian era. It can also be used for salt, spices, etc. What is this large metal pulley-looking thing? We saw two trucks with the same piece while driving through Kentucky today. It looks like it could be part of a large machine. Any ideas? It looks like the base of a crane they use at ports to unload cargo from ships called a quay crane. They are located along the quayside where container ships are easily accessible. What are these steel cables inside a coil? Approximately 3 feet long, with a square drive on one end and a drill bit looking thing on the other end. Both ends have a threaded collar. The drill bit turns when spinning the square end. Any ideas? They are old speedometer cables. These ran from transmission or other speed-related rotating parts to the back of the speedometer. Now they are all electronic, but they used to be mechanical. I found several hundred of these under a barn floor. Barn is between 80 and 100 years old. Each of these is different colored and has various letters and numbers stamped into them. Not sure what they are made of, maybe brick or something similar. They are 1 inch wide and between 4 and 6 inches long. The original owners were farmers from the earlier 20th century. No one alive who knew the owners know what these things are. We broke one open and found silver dust, which did not match the outside color. Most markings seem random, except the words Pittsburgh and Insco. An image search yielded no results. I think they are clay firing shrinkage tests. Clay shrinks as it is fired, so potters make these, so we can know how much a particular clay is going to shrink during a firing. What are these long narrow chimneys on barns in Northern California? I've seen a handful of chimney or grain elevator looking things like these in my area. Historically it's an apple production region, although more recently it has become a wine growing region. The examples I've seen are made of concrete and look to be 50 to 100 years old. I've seen a handful of this style of barn in Sonoma County, California. What are they for? They are for drying apples. I grew up near that spot in the 1980s, and someone else who lived within about half a mile from there in the 1960s wrote a book recently, California's Apple Blossom Trail, by Daniel Dawson, according to him, and as I was also told as a kid, they were for apple drying. He says a lot of dried apples were sent overseas during World War II. Apple dryers once dotted the surrounding landscape and were used to dehydrate apples prior to the advent of canning and refrigeration. What is this rectangular clear plastic or acrylic wall hanging that holds unknown objects? Found in a comic and game store if that helps. We are renovating and the original employees are not around. The store has been open since the 70s, so this could be any age in that time frame I guess. It's maybe 12.5 wide by 24 inches tall probably. The cutouts to hold things are more square at the top, and then kind of connected rectangular going down the sides. Any ideas? It is an Odyssey 2 console, joystick, and cartridge holder. The console went in the center, joysticks in the upper corners, and then you could put 12 cartridges on the sides. I had one as a kid. What are this white plastic looking thing and the tan clay-like material sticking to the siding on my house? The white plastic piece is about finger length. That is an outdoor temperature sensor. House must have had a whole house humidifier. More advanced models read outdoor temperatures and adjust internal humidity levels to avoid condensation on windows. What is this thing mounted on the roof of this unmarked vehicle? I could not see the manufacturer. Lots of cables to the power supply. The driver had huge pair of headphones on, but maybe unrelated. Seemed to be sensing something from the back of the vehicle. Any ideas? Looks a lot like the Wilbert Company's Inflection roof-mounted telescoping mast. It is a ground-based or rooftop structure that supports antennas at a height where they can satisfactorily send or receive radio waves. What is this 16 inches metal tool found while digging in the backyard? Looks like it attaches to either a machine or a garden tool. I'm guessing it's part of a manual tiller or excavator. It's a chrome 1954 Chevrolet Cars flying bird hood ornament. What is this weird welded spoon? My grandma got this in a box of things from her neighbor. The neighbor has moved out since, and I have been curious about it since I saw it. It had the paper on top when she got it. I'm assuming it was homemade. Maybe for a candle or incense. It is made out of silver like a regular spoon. I did not measure it. It was acquired in Florida if that makes a difference. It will only stand up when the spoon side is down. What is it? That is a vintage silver-plated bud vase. It's made from old silver-plated silverware. The knife handle is hollow and could hold water, but not very much. Back in the 1970s and 80s, it was popular to remake old silverware in other forms. I've seen lots of rings made from teaspoon handles. It's cool. What is this circular brick structure found in the backyard after the soil collapsed under my feet? I'd estimate the anticipated diameter of the circular structure to be 4 or 5 feet. It looks to be hollowed out under there, but I do not have a flexible camera to see exactly how deep it is, or what else is going on. I'm not sure if the hollow space was intentional or due to erosion, but some of the yard nearby does appear to be sinking in a bit. Also, on top of the brick closer to the surface, there is an area of rotting wood, and I do see small clumps of smaller roots. Not sure if there was a tree there before or not. Interestingly enough, the patio is less than 5 feet away. The patio has a landscaping retaining wall about 2 feet high that backs up to the affected area. The patio surface is actually lower than the level of the exposed brick structure, if that makes sense. What do you think it is? Please tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.